Hello everyone. Hello to all our viewers. Yes, I did this. It's Namaste in Sawadika in Thailand, in many countries, especially in Buddhist and Hindu religion. We follow this, but this is a very good way to become social or greet somebody. It's been followed by throughout the world. So today my name is Dr. Ramit Kumar Gupta. I am a pediatric cardiologist. Today we'll talk about corona. Well, there's a lot of research going on about coronavirus, and there are a lot of news regarding coronavirus in the newspaper. There are a lot of measures being talked about. There are a lot of confusions, dilemma, there are a lot of myths. So today we'll try to bust some myths and try to put forward some new novel things which you may or you might not be knowing. But it's very crucial to fight against coronavirus or COVID-19, which was designated by WHO. So our hospital team, number one, will talk about the route of transmission. We know that the route of transmission is through the droplets or through the sneeze or hand which got infected by sneezing. So apart from that, we have just now been published that our team of doctors in our hospital, they just published a report that in a Nature journal, which is a very respected journal, about apart from this respiratory tract route, there is another route, that is orophycal route. So we have to also maintain hygiene in our washroom or toilets which we use. So yes, orophycal route, there in the children, our research done in our hospital, it has been confirmed that it can go through the orophycal route. So now you have to be very careful about your hygiene, especially in your washroom. The next we are talking about whether we should drink water or not. Yes. You should drink a lot of water. You should keep yourself hydrated because that helps your body to fight against pathogens, any kind of pathogens. And, that also supports your metabolism, especially if you have fever, if you have other symptoms. So it helps you fight against those infections. If you are too much panicking about my third point is, if you're panicking too much about the COVID infection, what you're supposed to do is, sometimes you might have, because of too much panic, too much anxiety, you can have anxiety disorder. That's a medical term. So if you need, for some patients might have that. So if you need, especially I suggest you that don't panic. Yeah, of course, even if you develop anxiety disorder or panic disorder, then you can always call your doctor. Never visit hospital. That is very important. Never visit hospital unless required. If it's an emergency, I'm sure you are not going to the hospital because there's a caries in your teeth for, like, let's say a couple of months, or you need to take your blood pressure, or you need to test your glucose, or you need to do a full body checkup. So you're not going to a hospital for that. You can wait for some time when this goes up. Avoid touching all the organs which discharge any kind of fluid. For example, nose, mouth. It can be your armpits, which has a lot of secretions. Yeah, maybe it might sound but yeah, there's a possibility that you can infect by that. Uh, in China, they had built a makeshift hospitals for, let's say, in 10 days. Well, at the same time, now they are dismantling all those hospitals because what? Because they became very unsocial. What this means unsocial? They locked down themselves. They locked down themselves into the houses, into the places where they are. People were restricted for traveling. People were restricted for social gathering. People were restricted. Everything was in a lockdown, so they were able to control them. So, it is very important. The another point is, if you are having chronic disease like diabetes and hypertension or other disease, let's say you are getting pills for your thyroid treatment, so you don't have to go to hospital to reconfirm that, okay, if it is there or not, so that's very important. So how do we know we got corona or COVID infection? COVID infection is also it's also called, it's very similar to SARS infection. It's called SARS. It's very similar to SARS infection. So what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to look for the symptoms. For example, you have cough, you have throat, uncomfort in throat, you have cold, sneezing, flu-like symptoms. You have, headache, the fever that goes very high. So, yes, these are symptoms of, COVID. But let's talk about, if you got cold, if you get cough, shall we stop that? Shall we make sure that, okay, now I've got coronavirus and I'm infected and I must, go into the isolation? No. If you're infected, just stay at home, quarantine yourself from your family members, try to avoid touching, hugging, or all sort of contact, with the patients. With your family members and loved ones. So if the condition progresses, like if you're having chest pain, very severe chest pain, or dyspnea, not chest pain exactly, dyspnea, if you're having difficulty in breathing, then yes, you have to consult your doctor. So if you're having fever, if you're having cough and cold, the new guideline is never use ibuprofen. Only use paracetamol for reducing your fever, because ibuprofen can cause a lot of enzymes to shoot up, and it can hurt your lung parenchyma. Okay, so now there is a new thing is keeping yourself warm it is not although clinically proven, but keeping yourself warm can help you fight the infection, although it's not clinically proven. But yes, for example, if you take sauna bath, if you are taking, if you have, it's available, you take a warm bath with the water temperature below 45 degrees, that can be really good. Okay, so does it mean that the colder places, in the very cold places, there is no COVID infection? No. In cold places also, we all know that virus can be, isolated, and it can be stored at sub-zero temperatures for centuries. We all know that, yeah? So, yes, again, I repeat, become unsocial. That means avoid all kind of social contact, only go into the social media. Yeah, you cannot avoid that. You cannot live without that, I know. So what you can do is you can avoid social contact. Yeah, that's very important. But even in the social media, don't spread rumors or don't create panic or havoc. That's very important. What next you can do is you can store the food and ration plus medicines which you take regularly. You can store medicines, food and ration at your home, and in case if there's a lockdown, then you can use those supplies to feed you and your family, or to when you need that you can use that. So it's very important. Yeah. So children and kids are more susceptible to the infection. So please take very good care of your children and your elders at your home, especially elders who are more than, yeah, let's say 60. So yeah, these are the most vulnerable population. So the next is usually it takes 2 to 10 days to develop the symptom. So if you're traveling abroad, if you're coming back from abroad, you never know, because you're traveling in a flight, and you never know who's infected or not, because even the temperatures or thermal scanners, they are not accurate, they are not foolproof. So what you are supposed to do is you have to quarantine yourself again, become unsocial. You have to stay away from people at least for 14 days. Yeah, because it can take from 2 to 10 days to for the symptoms to come. All right. So the next question is, are there any vaccines available for that? Yes, we have vaccines now, which is based on the genome, which was first isolated in China, the genomic sequence. So now we have a vaccine for that, based on that. But don't be too optimistic, because to come in the market, it will take at least more than 1 hour for that to come in the market. Yeah, so we can never be. So still the best way is to become unsocial. There are a lot of questions like, okay, if garlic can help to fight the COVID infection. Yes, garlic is a very good antibacterial. It has very good properties. It has many good medicinal properties. It's a naturescape. But no, it is not that you taking garlics or taking anything will keep you away from that. About the food, take a lot of protein, especially poultry, meat, and dairy products. Don't worry, you are not going to have COVID infection or coronavirus infection from that. Okay, so the another question is, does antibiotics help with the COVID infection or coronavirus infection, corona infection? No, antibiotics are not the primary way to treat corona infection. So how it happens? But antibiotics are used in the treatment. What happens when your body gets infected with the coronavirus or the RNA? So it can cause, the infection can cause super added infection. That means other bacterial infection or opportunistic infection. They will come along with that when your immune becomes low. In that case, what we are supposed to do, doctors do, is we treat antibiotics. I'm sure you have heard about chloroquine. That is a drug used for malaria. In China and Korea, the doctors are very effectively using chloroquine to combat malaria, to combat coronavirus infection. It has shown that it's very being used very effectively. There are antiviral drugs, such example ritonavir, opinavir, interferons are also used. I have mentioned chloroquine. There is chloramphenemide. These all drugs are they help you to fight with the symptoms and signs. There are also we use steroids. steroids which when your lungs are inflamed or when you have pneumonia, that helps your lungs to suppress the inflammation. Okay. If you have pre-existing conditions like diabetes, hypertension, or asthma, this coronavirus can worsen that. It can really worsen that condition. Especially you are more susceptible. So take very good care of yourself. Make sure that your diabetes, hypertension, and other elements are also taken very good care. Okay, there's angiotensin converting enzyme, ACE2, that we call it ACE2. So angiotensin converting enzyme are in the lungs, and ACE inhibitors, the drug we used to take to control blood pressure, ACE inhibitors. So ACE inhibitors have shown to be very effective for by controlling angiotensin converting enzyme 2, which is the pathway, or which is the route through which the virus enters into the lungs or cells. So these have also shown to be very effective. Apart from this, I would like to say that yes, stay safe. We can fight corona. It's not something which we cannot fight. We can fight, but we have to start by ourselves, from ourselves. If you can, please keep working from home. Even if you have to go outside, make sure do all your homework so that you can go and keep distance with the people, avoid crowd, and these all things can help you a lot. Thank you so much. Stay safe. See you again.